So we're going to be reviewing this today, which is the CarPod Go CarPlay unit. Now, as many of you guys know, these are hitting the market at the moment like wildfire. And these are becoming highly popular, especially for cars that can't have CarPlay fitted or people can't remove their system. And this is a very, very good unit from what I've read up. And as many of you guys will remember, I did a car poo ride one a few months back, which was very, very well. And now they're being fitted to a lot of motorbikes and a lot of cars. Now, this is the newest company to come out right now, which is CarPod Go. They've just made a unit. This one's a lot more slimline, 60 frames per second screen. And we're going to be installing it today on one of my cars so you guys get to see how it works and how it all functions. So we're going to move on to it. We're going to start unboxing it. Then I'm going to install it into the car. The car I'm picking today to install it in is going to be my 911, purely because I don't have Apple CarPlay in there. I don't have the PCCM upgrade. So I'm going to install it into that one because my 6 Series already has CarPlay, so it'd be useless to pull it into there. So let's open it up, see what's in the box, and I'll show you how easy it is to configure and install it into the car. So what we'll do, we'll just take this box out, sleeve, and if you can see there's the screen. Just pull it out if we can, like that. And you can see already, I believe, this is all slimline, and you can see all the connections there. So you've got USB-C, you've got another USB-C for actual USB, you've got an aux input as well, because obviously you're going to need to use the aux to obviously connect it to your car if you want to listen to music. So you've got everything in there. You've also got all your connectors. So you've got this connector in case you want to just mount it to your dashboard, and you can just basically stick the screen on, depending on what you want to do. You've got another connection bit here with it. You've got many different types of connections. You've also got the dash mount stick-on bit, which you stick this onto your dash with the 3mm adhesive tape. Make sure to warm up your car before you stick this. Do not try and stick this while your dash is cold, or do not try and stick it and vice versa while the 3mm adhesive tape is cold, because it will not stick. Next thing, we've got the charger, and if you can see right there, this one's got another USB option, which is one thing I really like about CarPod Go, is they include this. You've got an on-off switch to turn the USB off so it doesn't drain your battery on your car whenever you get out, which means you don't have to keep disconnecting the CarPlay unit, which I think many people will do, otherwise you end up having your window broken and it robbed. You've also got an extra USB if you want to plug in anything else. As many of you guys know, many manufacturers don't think about this when they send USBs out to plug things into your car when you order things. They just send you a normal USB, and then you have to worry about taking it out and having to find another one to be able to plug, or buy a dual one to plug other USBs in. They've already thought about that. You've got a spare USB, and you've also got an on-off switch to turn it on and off. So that is already a plus sign, because Car Poo Ride didn't think of that on the last review I did, and that's why I didn't keep it in my car, purely because having to keep disconnected all the time was just ridiculous. But with this, you won't ever have to disconnect it because you've got an on-off switch, and you've also got a USB to use for anything else. So even if you didn't want to use the CarPlay, you could still use this power adapter for anything else you needed to use. So yeah, so this is a big plus for CarPod Go, giving this along with the system. And I think this is why this system is going to be a good seller just alone, because this is critical on any car. As many of you guys know, you install this in a BM, you don't turn it off, it will drain the power and drain your battery completely. They've also included a mount, so we're going to go ahead and put this mount on the car as well, because we're going to need to. You can see here it's all flexible, you can adjust it any way you want. I'm going to be mounting this to the dash. I've already got one of these already on my dash, because I've also got my quad lock in my Porsche, so I don't actually need to install another one. I'm going to have to check to make sure it will fit on top of my quad lock mount one. But yes, I don't need another one, so I'll keep that in case I was to put it in another car. So we're going to be able to install this quite easily, and I'm going to show you what the functions it's got. We'll see how it powers up, and we'll test how bright this screen is, but it shouldn't take us 5 minutes to power up, and you'll see. The whole idea of them making these units now is because, as many of you guys know, many people will install these into their car, and when it comes time to sell the car, they can't remove the Apple CarPlay. But now you've got a removable Apple CarPlay unit that if you're going to buy another car, for instance, if you wanted to change cars, you can take your Apple CarPlay unit with you, because as many of you guys know, Apple CarPlay is becoming more and more common, and also more and more crucial, especially in this day and age, to make sure you're not touching your phone and to be able to see your maps and your phone not floating about. So it doesn't matter where your phone is, as long as this screen is mounted correctly and on your dash, you'll be able to access anything you need on your phone without touching your phone. So it makes perfect sense, and bear in mind it's removable. You wouldn't have to sell the car with the unit. You can just take it all out quickly. It takes 2 minutes to remove it and pull it in your next car you're purchasing. Okay guys, so now we're in my Porsche 911 and this is where I'm going to be installing it. You can already see, as I said to you, I've already got one of the adhesive pads on the actual dashboard. You're going to need one of them because I wouldn't mount it anywhere else. I wouldn't mount it to your windscreen because it's just going to be unsafe. And if your window's cold one morning, it will just unstick itself due to, you know, the window being cold and there's no adhesive, it's just going to slide around. So I personally wouldn't put it there. I would use the 3mm adhesive pad and stick it on the dash. Make sure to heat the car up. Do not stick that while cold. I'm just warning you. Pull it on your windscreen, demist the windscreen, and wait for the car to get completely hot and then stick the adhesive pad down. Make sure you heat the adhesive pad up on the heaters and then stick it down so it's nice and stuck. Like this one is fully stuck down. That won't even come off. You probably end up ripping the dashboard out. So we're going to go ahead and install the mount first. I've already got it here. I'm just going to remove the stick right there, which has got it down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it down here and then clip it down like that, and you can see that's gone solid. That ain't going to move anywhere. Now we can make adjustments on the mount if we want, so we can pull it like here, because obviously I want it to be sitting where I can see it. So you just adjust it right there like that. Now we're going to get our screen and we're going to have to take this off. So just take it off. And you can see it's already got, like I said, the adapter on the back. So you just need to really clip this on. So we're just going to unscrew the cap. We're going to have to put that cap over here. And just like that, once it's on, then you just screw it on into position to lock it on. And make sure it's in the position where you want it. So now, as you can see there, that's now in position. Now obviously it does stick out a bit much. I know a lot of people ain't going to like that. Now mine is completely stuck down, and obviously as I heat the car up even more, it's going to be stuck down even more. That's right, perfectly there, and you can see there it's not in the way of anything on the center console. It actually sits very, very tidy all along there. Now we're going to plug it all in. So I'm going to plug this into the socket. Now we're going to plug it into the 12-volt socket, which on Porsche you've got two. You've got one under the armrest and one right here in the center. But I'm going to plug it into the center one purely because I feel like it's easier. Then we'll plug this in. And there we go. It's now powered up. And you can see here, try and turn the screen so you get to see it. You can see it all in action. We're going to click Apple CarPlay. Then I'm going to need to get my phone to connect it because it says please turn on Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. And it says to connect what it is, PND-CA2B, which you can see right there. It's coming up on my phone, it tells me to pair. Then it's asking for the pairing request, which we'll just do. And then we just connect to Apple CarPlay. And you can see there saying Apple CarPlay connecting. And then there you go, it's already connected. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be connecting an aux cable, which I've got in here from my Mr. 12-volt system, to go into the back here. So now I've got my aux cable plugged in. Sound will now come through my Mr. 12-volt system through here, which I've got connected to the CD changer. And you can see how nice this one fits and suits inside the car. You guys remember I did a car pew ride one and I think the screen was a bit too big, but this one suits really, really nicely. I mean, some people will prefer it on the windscreen. I don't want it in my windscreen. I don't want it in my way, blocking my view of anything, so I'm able to see clearly. The colors were really nice on the screen. It moves quickly through everything. It moves very, very quick. If we just click our settings, you can see everything here. You can go back as well. Everything's working perfectly. I'm not too sure about phone calls on it, but I suppose it will work fine. Again, I've got my Mr. 12-volt system in here, which I've got hands-free, Bluetooth audio and everything else. But I ain't too sure about phone calls on this. It might work. It might be able to pick up calls. It might not. But you can see how straightforward it is to actually install. As I said to you, you know, when you do install it, my best advice is to use the sticky plate that goes on the dash. I really wouldn't recommend sticking it on the windscreen by any means. I know some people are going to like that, but to be honest, I don't. This isn't in my way at all. And obviously, if I wanted to heighten it a bit more, I could and bring it up about here. If I wanted to, you can see what I mean. You can bring it up if you really want to. You can make all the adjustments you need to make it perfect. It's completely down to you. But I just prefer, you know, it wherever. But I think it looks really good. To be honest, I was looking at these units before they actually contacted me to send me one, because I like the slimline version, because as many of you guys know, if you saw my CARPLAY ride, again, I'll link it. It's quite fat and quite thick, and it was quite in a way, but this one is much better than the other one. It's a lot lighter, and it looks a lot more tidier. The screen's more colourful, more brighter, and I just think it adds to the car, especially as many of you guys know on these 911s, they don't have Apple CarPlay, and their system's like £2 grand. It's ridiculous to fit it for the price of it just to have Apple CarPlay. It's like the same PCCM. When you can buy this, I believe, for around 200 quid and just fit it into your car, and it's not that, it's removable, so you never have to give it to no one. Like I said to you, the main thing I do like is the 12-volt lead, which I'll show you. So if you look at this power lead, if I just click that, you'll see you can turn it off, and you'll see that guy in a sec. It's already turned the screen off, and you can see the light's gone out, and then if I turn it back on, it will now turn the screen back on, which it just has. And that's how good that is. That alone is a bonus. I know people are going to say you can buy them, but for the fact that this CarPod Go has thought about this so you don't have to, is a plus already, because they're already thinking about what people are going to need, because they don't want it to drain your battery. Other manufacturers should take a lesson from this and send this with any kind of device that you fit into a car, because these being like left like that, and you think my ignition is off and it's still powered up, so you think how much battery power that would take with the ignition left off and the car locked up overnight. It will just drain the battery. So that's a big plus just on its own. So guys, as you see there, this is the CarPod Go Apple CarPlay unit, and you've seen how easy it is to actually install. I've installed it in literally no time, and if many of you guys want to go and purchase it, I will link it in my description box below. I think it's a really, really good unit, and this is going to stay in my Porsche now, purely because, as I said, you know, it adds to the Porsche, especially when you don't have Apple CarPlay. You've got the old PCCM. All my music now will come through aux, through all my Mr. 12-volt system that's in here. And yeah, you know, you can actually use all your maps, anything you need to on here, without it being on your phone. Now, I know a lot of people say it's a lot of cables, a lot of crap added in here, but in the same sense, it is, but it gives you all the features you want without the need of actually having to touch your phone. So it makes more sense. So I want to thank all of you guys for watching. And as I said, if you do want to purchase this for your car, it will be linked in my description box and in my comments box below. Thank you very much for watching, guys. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.